Well, I guess it's week 2 of trying to do more intuitive eating. Um, I've eaten a lot of Oreos, I will say, and homemade like one serving cookie dough. But otherwise, it's been okay. Today I feel like I had a little bit of I wasn't feeling like particularly in tune with what my body wants to eat, just what I emotionally want to eat, and that's it. Not like what my body is needing or wanting. Until I think today. And I'm pretty sure it's because I was eating while not watching TV or YouTube videos, which is my custom. And have been doing that. I've been eating in front of TV or Netflix or computer or phone or whatever for like to my entire adult life, and I'm 31, so a long time. And especially since I've not lived at home, where we used to have dinner like at the dinner table and everything. And like my husband and I usually have breakfast at the table, but he has a weird schedule, and a lot of times he's not home when I eat breakfast. So at least 2, if not 3 meals and snacks are almost always eaten in front of some sort of screen. And today I had breakfast with my husband. He was here at the table. And then I also had lunch at the table because my daughter was still awake. Usually she's asleep when I have lunch, but she was still awake. So I ate lunch there. And both times I had this like urge to put tomatoes on what I was eating, which I like tomatoes, but it persisted through several different meal options. Like my breakfast, I had eggs and I wanted some tomatoes. And then I had, for lunch, I had a sandwich and I really wanted to put a tomato on it. And I had some salad and I wanted to put a tomato on that too. Sadly, we did not have tomatoes. So what I did when I guess I kind of recognized it was we had some salsa, like chunky salsa with like chunks of tomatoes and onions. And so I put some of that in my sandwich and it tasted great. And I've never done that before. I was like, that's weird, but it was what I wanted. And so I thought maybe that was one of the things. And then I thought, well, maybe my body wants like citrus. And so I looked in the fridge and I had some, I guess they're called cuties. They're like tiny little tangerines. And I ate one of those and it's definitely what I wanted. So it's so weird. Like I was pregnant and everything and I didn't experience that kind of like wanting to eat something that it doesn't feel like a craving. It's just like, oh, I want to put this thing on here. Um, not like when you see pregnant people in the movies who are just like, I need all the chocolate. I didn't really have I had that, but the thing was that I have that all the time. Like or I had that all the time. Lately I haven't. Now that I think about it, I haven't been having like super strong cravings. I'll just be like, oh, like I could totally eat some Oreos right now. And so if I have them, I do. Um, but it hasn't been. But last night, like I went to the store to get some chips because I wanted something crunchy. And so took my daughter and we went to the store and we got some chips and I saw they had Oreos. They don't always have Oreos. It's a tiny little store. And so I got them and it happened to be like the giant pack of how many? I don't know, 12. And there are no more today. So I wanted them. And I did actually stop eating them at one point because they were still good, but they weren't tasting as good. But then about a half hour later, they were tasting good again. So I ate the rest of them. And I'm trying not to feel guilty about that, but I do. I won't lie, I do. And I haven't had Oreos for a while. It's not like I ate a whole bunch of crap yesterday or anything. Uh, Not crap, a whole bunch of like high sugar foods yesterday or anything. But it's still like it made me feel bad about myself. It made me feel like I don't have any self-control, but that's the thing is I'm not trying to. So like I have to let that go and that's hard to do. Um, but I did enjoy them and I didn't feel bad about it while I was eating them, which usually I would. So that was better. Maybe next time when I get them, maybe I won't eat them all because I'll know that they'll be there. I don't know. Or maybe I will eat them all. I guess it doesn't matter. But it does matter. Like, let's be real, it does. Um, it just doesn't, but it does. It does right now, it does matter to me. But I guess the thing that I'm really having a hard time with still is I am on a pretty strict budget. My husband and I try to spend only $40 per week for both of our food. We live in Mexico, so it's a little easier here, but it's tight. And I try to cook and everything, but that means that there are a lot of times actually when I'm craving something that is not in the budget and I did not buy at the weekly shop, and so I shouldn't get it. Like I got the chips because that was really cheap. It wasn't like it didn't break the bank, to get that, even though it wasn't in what I had bought for the week. But there are times when I want to buy like vegan cheese. I have some problems with dairy, so I have to eat vegan cheese. It's not like a choice, I can't eat the regular cheese. So if I'm gonna get vegan cheese, like that's expensive, and I can't do that most of the time. And but I want it, and so that's tricky because that feels like restriction, but like it's restriction, but it's not restriction for dieting. It's restriction because I don't have the money, or I do, but I shouldn't spend it on that. I have enough food in the house, kind of thing. It's like what your mom always says, like we have food at home. And I'm a mom now, so I actually say that to my husband all the time. We have food at home, don't we? Yeah. Um, so that's something that I have a hard time like. I don't think it counts. I haven't really Googled. I don't have a whole lot of extra free time, other than when I'm eating, apparently. But I need to kind of do some Googling and see. I don't think that counts as restriction because it isn't restriction based on the desire to be thin or the desire to lose weight or the desire to diet. Like it's not something like that. It's because it's not something I can afford. And if that counts, if that's like restriction or whatever, then this whole thing is not, it's for the rich, like, So, and I don't think it is. I don't think that's the case at all. I think that poor people or people on a budget or people who have less can still eat intuitively. I do think it's probably harder. I know there are people who probably have it worse off than we do as far as how much money they have to spend weekly on food, and that would make it like super hard, like to eat intuitively if your body is wanting like all of these vegetables, say like you're doing really well on intuitive eating and your body is like, yeah, man, we need vitamins, and so you want to have like all these vegetables and fruits, and that stuff's expensive. Like if your body wants variety, that's expensive, so I don't know, just a thought and something I'm working on. But I do feel, and I think you're not supposed to weigh yourself, but the thing is, I weigh myself with my daughter, and then I weigh myself and subtract my weight from our weight to get her weight, because that's how I keep track of her weight. And I do that on a weekly basis. She has acid reflux. I have a video on here about that, and so I guess I don't have to, but I try to keep a really close track. I keep really close track of her weight because I want to make sure she's eating enough. She's not a big eater, and I don't know if it's because of the reflux or if it's just because she's not a big eater. Either way, I can't like make her eat more, but I just like to keep track of it in case we were to need to do something like what is it, fortify her milk or something. We haven't needed to. She's been fine, but I just keep an eye on it for that reason. And I try to sneak her like snack bottles of like 1 or 2 ounces in between feeds to try to help her get more in. So anyway, for that reason, I did weigh myself. And obviously, like, so I know what I weighed. And I have gained like 2 pounds, I think, or 1.5. Not a lot. And I'm not uncomfortable with that. Sorry, I just ate. What did I just eat? Oh yeah, that orange thing. But I think that I think it's normal to kind of gain some weight in the beginning and maybe even stay at, if you're at a weight where your body's comfortable, you don't lose weight. And that's, you have to work on accepting that, which will be hard if that's what happens with my body. If my body is like at a weight where it's gonna like chill out and stay, I probably will be a little uncomfortable. I weigh I'm not sure what I weigh in pounds. I weigh in kilos. I weigh 85, I believe. I weighed about 85 kilos, and I know my height and feet. It's what happens when you live in a country where you're not from, and the system is different. Although I guess the only place where the system is not metric is the United States, but that's where I'm from. So I'm only 5'3", 5'3". So that classifies me as obese. And I was really hoping to get out of that classification. The last, like anytime I go on a diet or like change the way I eat, it's with the intention of being overweight, because that's how I felt my best when I was about 20 pounds overweight. I'd say I felt really good, and I had gotten closer to like what my weight is supposed to be, and I felt too thin. I've never been, as an adult or teen, I've never been within my like weight category where I'm supposed to be. But I've been like 5 pounds away, and I felt too thin. I didn't like how I looked. I didn't like how I felt bony, and I just didn't feel good, and then I gained like 10 pounds and I felt great. Like, so yeah, like around 15, 20 pounds, like overweight is where I feel very comfortable. So I'm hoping comfortable, meaning comfortable with my body, but also just like physically feel good, feel healthy, I guess is what I would say. I feel my back doesn't hurt at that weight. I feel like exercise is not a huge struggle. Like trying to exercise right now, anything but swimming, and I will be absolutely wiped out. um, so that kind of thing. Like I feel strong, I guess is the word maybe. Like I feel strong, I feel healthy, feel energetic around 20 pounds overweight. And so that's I think it's about 30 pounds away from where I'm at right now, I think. Maybe 25, I'm not sure. And so I will be honest, like I know you're not supposed to like want to lose weight, but I do still. Maybe I'll lose that mentality eventually, but I want to because I mean, obviously I want to for there's definitely social pressures, but aside from those, that's just where I feel good. Right now I have a lot of back pain, and I feel kind of like sluggish, I guess is the word I would use. And so the last time I remember not feeling sluggish and what was the other word I just used? Mom brain, sluggish, sluggish brain, sluggish, and whatever other word I just said um, was when I was weak. I guess weak was when don't eat that was when I was around that weight. So for that reason, I guess I think I'm allowed to want to be that size for that reason, right? Just not because not allowed, but I think it's recommended to not care about, to try to let go of caring about it because of the way you look or like what other people think of you. But I think it's okay to want to be that size because that's how I felt good. I don't know. Maybe not. We'll see. Also, I'm not exercising right now, so it's entirely possible that I'll start exercising and I'll feel good at this size. And if that's the case, then I will be fine with that. That's for sure. I just want to feel better than I do right now, especially with the back pain. It's pretty bad. And I know most of it is from pumping, breast pumping, and it's just been not fun. So, anyhow, that's where we're at. This is a really long update, so I'm going to call it a day. And this little one will wish everybody Merry Christmas. She's playing with her doll. So if anybody's working on this too and has tips or anything to share, comment. Love to interact and encourage each other. If somebody has something negative to say, I guess I'll take that into consideration too. Yeah. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. She can't say anything yet.